You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. And if you've read the title, you'll understand why I'm so excited. This is the premiere episode of Bloodsport Season 3. We've got something a little bit different for you this season. We're going to have even more competitors than before. We had 150 patrons apply to be on this series, and we've chosen from them 32 competitors from all over the world. Entering the arena, we're going to have people coming from the United States and Canada, UK, Europe, and Australia, all vying for the ultimate prize, the title of Bloodsport Champion. In tonight's episode, we're kicking things off in the heartland of America as four fierce fighters from the Midwest and north of the U.S. step into the ring. Kenya Zarns, Jay Borsom, Eric Walling, and Brian Peterson-Delacueva are all here to prove that they have what it takes to dominate the competition. 12 questions is all it's going to take to decide who goes down and who goes on in this first round of 8 episodes. All right, without further ado, we're going to take you right into the heat of battle. We have an action-packed event coming up between Kenya and Jay to start off our series. It's time for Bloodsport. And welcoming in our competitors from this inaugural episode, we have first and foremost, very good friend of the show. I'm sure you're very familiar with her, appearing many, many times now. We have Jay Borsom from Chicago, Illinois. Jay, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I think this is appearance number 11, which is insane. Get better players, seriously.
Well, we stopped counting when we ran out of fingers because we're very good at math here, as you know.
But you could start counting on your toes, and as anybody who knows me is aware, count on your toes.
Neil, as you know, will not do that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Anything new and exciting since the last time we talked to you?
That's a really good question. I think we talked last a little over a month ago. Since then, still keeping things online on Twitch, twitch.tv/liquid_courage. It is courage. It is courage. It is pronounced courage, Neil. Also, the World Trivia Federation, that's at patreon.com/liquidcourage. It's my love letter to things like Learned League and BP Trivia and all that. I do have a side project that's in development right now that I'm not super ready to talk about yet. But all I will say is stay tuned to spaces like this in the near future.
I love a good teaser, Neil. But appreciate you coming on again, Jay. Always a pleasure to see you. And our other competitor, of course, you can't have a game without two. Today, coming from Grand Forks, North Dakota, we have Kenya Zarns. How are you, Kenya?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is our first meeting today. Apparently, you've been on the show quite a few times, and I've never had the pleasure. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'll pretend it's the first time.
Oh, sure. So, my name, Kenya Zarns. I live in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. So I moved from the third warmest state in the country to the second coldest, second only to Alaska. And sometimes we're colder in the parts of Alaska. But I don't have any sort of business to plug. However, I'm going to brag about something, which is that I'm a member of Mensa. Do not use this against me if my performance in this game is not stellar. But the reason I mention it is because Mensa has a trivia contest every year called Culture Quest, where a number of teams compete to answer. This year it was 200 questions in 90 minutes to see who comes out on top. And I had the pleasure with the assistance of a committee of writing and chairing that quiz this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was just administered this past Sunday, and now we're in the process of reviewing and scoring and checking for any errors. So it's actually really cool. It's a really cool thing to see. Oh, and the one other thing, and then I won't run over my time, is that I also had the
There's
pleasure.
no music playing you off. You're good.
I also had the pleasure a couple weeks ago of being a judge at something called Mind Games, which if you're a board gamer, you might be familiar with some of the game stamps that appear on board games like the Spiel de Jar and things like that. And Mensa has their best 5 every year, their top 5. So I got to be a judge and I had to play 30 games over the course of 2 days and judge them and then got to take a few of those games home as a reward. So anyway.
That is super cool. Well, we're excited to have you on today. I hope you do well. And as is proof, Neil, I think always here, we are surrounded by people who are much smarter than ourselves. And one of those people is our fine host today. I'd like to introduce the man who needs no introduction, Ryan Myers. How you doing?
Well, howdy. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me back. Sorry that we had a 2-year hiatus between seasons of this, but
Hey, things happen around here, so I wouldn't put that on yourself. But no, thank you for coming back and agreeing to do this. We are super excited. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe set the stage for this year's competition?
okay. I'm still located in Wichita, Kansas, still working for museums and doing trivia in my free time. So nothing too big on that front. Now, as for Bloodsport, we're going to keep it easy with the prelims. If you've listened to the previous seasons, you know the formats can get weird, fun, funky, anything like that. We're saving that for later in line. These first rounds are going to be bare bones, simple, 12 questions, different categories. Get an answer in. Simple as that. Just starting off, dipping your toes in the soothing waters of Triviality Lake before throwing you into the storm.
Jeff, I'm just going to pop in real quick here. So it's only going to be one of us on each of the episodes, but I'm just here, getting all the body oil ready, getting the weights, the kettlebells, anything that anyone needs to work out before the episode. But I just wanted to say hello. Thank you for mentioning me earlier in the episode, and it's so nice to see all these beautiful faces. But I'm just going to go into the shadows. I'm going to get the ankle tape, the knuckle tape, and just be keeping score of how many body parts I have to clean up. So,
all right, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Neil.
The analogy isn't getting better the longer it goes, Neil.
I know. I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead, I think.
Put a pin on body oil, and I think you've told the story.
Thank you.
Is it too late to just kind of back up into the hedges and disappear?
That's what I'm going to do right now, like Homer Simpson. I'm going to go right back into the shrubbery.
Well,
so,
speaking of the Simpsons, Neil's going to go over there and start to dig up out of that hole that he put himself in, and we'll get back to our game.
There you go. Well, enjoy yourselves, everyone.
Okay, let's start with question number 1, folks. Located in Luxor, what is the name of the necropolis that contains the tombs of many ancient Egyptian royals and noblemen, including the tomb of Tutankhamun?
All right, I think I have a guess ready to go.
Me too.
Alrighty, cool. Jay, you were in first, so why don't you take a stab at it?
Yeah, sure. And it is very much a stab because only one phrase came to mind. I'm not confident that it's right, but I know that it's associated with what you're talking about at least. So I went to Valley of the Kings.
And Kenya?
I honestly did not know, and so I just said the Great Pyramid of Giza.
The correct answer is the Valley of the Kings.
Whew, okay.
Good job.
Thought that was more geographic and less architectural, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Going to question number 2. While there are several animals that bear the name Angora, the historic name for the Turkish capital city of Ankara, Angora wool specifically comes from which animal? Okay, Jay, you were in first.
Well, yeah, I think that's just because Kenya's being polite about it. Yeah, you're right. There's a bunch of Angoras out there, but I think Angora wool traditionally comes from the hair of a goat.
And Kenya?
I also said a goat.
Correct answer is a rabbit.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be one of those episodes. All right.
Angora rabbit.
Yeah, I just started off great. Like that whole Mensa plug is already biting me in the you-know-where. That's awesome.
Whenever you see one of those rabbits that's about 95% fluff, it's usually one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when you say it, it rings a bell, but I wasn't gonna extract it from the brain space in a minute.
All right, number 3. What color is generally ascribed to writing that is overly ornate and distracting, as it seems to be drawing attention to its own flamboyant, extravagant style?
All right, I'm in with the wrong answer.
I don't think it will help. I'm just in also with a wrong answer.
All right, Kenya, what's your wrong answer?
My wrong answer is chartreuse.
Chartreuse. And Jay?
I went lavender.
You should have gone a little more basic. It's purple. It's called
Oh,
Purple
I was
Prose.
between the two.
Purple
Oh.
Prose.
Oh,
I thought
wow.
chartreuse was the cheese and meat board.
That's charcuterie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I was a little off.
Sorry, on behalf of colorblind people everywhere, I will be filing an official complaint on that one.
All right, number 4. The modern goatee has its roots in and is sometimes named after which Flemish painter who became the main court painter of Charles I of England? All right, Jay, what'd you say?
I think goatees are based on a similar type of facial hair that I didn't know where the name came from, but I'm associated in my head with it. And it sounds very Dutch. Van Dyke.
And Kenya?
I just had Flanders. I have nothing else.
Stupid, sexy Flanders. The correct answer, it is Anthony Van Dyke.
Okay.
I would love to see Flanders grow out from the mustache to a full Van Dyke. That would be the ultimate stupid, sexy Flanders.
Yes, it would. Number 5. In addition to his work on medical dramas like ER and House, what actor made his feature film debut alongside Tupac Shakur in the movie Juice?
Oh, good, because I can picture the actor I want to say, but I can't pull his full name. I want to say his first name is Eric. But what the heck was his last name? Like if it's the ER actor that I'm thinking of, he played the really acerbic surgeon, I think. I don't remember him being on House, and that's throwing me a little bit. But I mean, House went a bunch of seasons that I wasn't necessarily around for. I feel like it's one of those like 2-word last names too. I could be way off base on this. I don't think I'm going to pull it in time. It's Eric Wrongly Anderson. Why not?
Eric Wrongly Anderson. And Kenya?
I think who you're thinking of is Eric LaSalle, but that's not the person I'm guessing. I'm guessing Omar Epps.
Because it is Omar Epps.
I didn't remember Omar Epps being on either of the shows, but that name did pop into mind. I'm like, ooh, no, not Omar. Eric.
Yeah, Eric.
I didn't remember
Eric
him
LaSalle.
being. I didn't remember him being on ER, but I knew he was definitely in Juice and on House.
He was on the third season.
He played one of the secondary lead characters on House.
On House, he's one of the main characters.
He's one of the main characters.
Was that Omar Epps?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's Foreman.
Hey, question number 6. Recorded years ago for live shows only, never released as a single, and then made viral on TikTok until it was properly re-recorded and released as a single, David Guetta's song I'm Good, featuring Bibi Rexha, samples what 1999 dance hit?
I'm going to go in with something that I think fits the time frame, but I have no idea if it's right.
All right, Jay, what'd you have?
Oh, you and me both there, sister. 99 and not being David Guetta, because my head went to like The World Is Mine, but he wouldn't sample his own work. That's not how that works. 99 got me to, I'm like, okay, so that was around the Latin invasion, but that doesn't feel right. It's in the boy band era, but those don't feel like dance hits. Let's go with the Venga Boys. So I went with We Like to Party.
And Kenya?
That's not a bad guess. I went with the Thong Song.
Oh my goodness. The correct answer by Eiffel 65 is Blue Dabba Dee.
I'm blue.
Okay.
Da-da-dee-da-da-da. Yeah,
Kenya, we're doing great.
That's a nice little segue, Jay, because I'll tell you exactly how you're doing. It's a very close game so far. Jay has a slight lead with 2 correct to Kenya's 1. So wide open. This second half will decide it all.
Question number 7. Which sign of the zodiac and fellow constellation is closely tied to Orion? Orion boasted he could kill any animal, was challenged to fight this creature, and was then sent to the stars for his excessive pride.
So I wish I were better with zodiac signs. It's just something I was never really interested in. I'm a Pisces, and so my brain wanders elsewhere all the time. It's not going to be fish, which is what Pisces is. I believe Aquarius is like water gatherer. There's like a crab in there and twins. The only thing I can think of is, what is it, Aries with the ram. So I'll just go Aries.
Okay. And Jay.
This reminds me of a question I think I wrote a year or two ago, because there's really good negbait in it. And the negbait would be Leo the lion. But I'm pretty sure this is Scorpio, the scorpion.
It is Scorpio. You're correct.
I would have looked really dumb if I was wrong on that.
I've written questions and missed things about them years after, so I get them. Let's move to number 8. Let's talk about business. Founded in 1900 by brothers Augustus, John, and later William, what company adopted the bulldog as its logo? As their most noted products have blunt-nosed hoods and noted durability.
I have the best guess that I'm going to come up with locked in.
Okay. Kenya, you can think aloud if you like.
I don't know if it's going to help me. Blunt nails, hoods, noted durability. This could be sweaters. This could be cars. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say Dodge.
Dodge. And Jay.
I'm pretty much in the same boat Kenya is. Dodge, I know, is pretty associated with the Ram, so I went like a step back and thought of something that would have been around at the turn of the century, and that notably may have been named for a surname, because you did not include one in your wording. So I went with Chrysler.
Oh, you are all on the right track. The correct answer is Mack Trucks.
Yeah, my third biggest fascination as a stereotypical young boy.
Big
Okay.
trucks.
Big trucks.
Yeah, I wasn't getting that, but if, say, the 9-year-old were here, you probably would have helped me.
My 9-year-old would not have helped in any form or fashion. It's not a Pokemon or a tablet that he gets to stare at all day. So
Yeah, kids have it way better these days as far as toys and entertainment. So
Yeah.
I'm doing parenting right. I think both of my children are home currently.
And I am thankful for question number 9, because we're hitting close to time.
Okay.
Number 9. While he immigrated to and lives in Italy, TikTok star Kabi Lame, best known for making fun of overcomplicated and nonsensical life hack videos, was born in which West African country? Oh, goodness. Well, Kenya, what is your guess?
Ghana.
Ghana. And Jay?
My guess is also Ghana.
It is Senegal.
Oh, that's right. He's Senegalese. Okay.
Senegalese. Let's go to question number 10. Easily the worst Halloween candy. What flavor are those god-awful circus peanut marshmallow abominations?
Yeah, I know dirt's not going to be a valid guess, so I'm going to say, I don't know, orange.
And Jay?
I'm wrong with vanilla, but I'm insulted at the core premise.
The color of them is orange, but the flavor is banana.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Whatever you say.
I was gonna say it's the styrofoamiest banana I've ever heard of, but all right.
That's because they're just the rejected packing peanuts. Number 11. Before they became best known for their jewelry, in what good did Tiffany & Company specialize? First director of the company, Louis Comfort Tiffany, was a renowned artist in this form.
I'm locked in.
Jay, you can think it aloud if you like.
Before you said before they were known for jewelry.
Correct.
But this is some kind of art form. Okay. I'm thinking it's either ivory or scrimshaw. I'm gonna say ivory.
And Kenya?
Oh, you said form?
Yeah, what good or form
Okay.
of like art?
Yeah, well, my answer was lamps.
And I can take that. It's stained glass, and they did stained glass lamps too, specifically. So I can take either of those. It's fine. That's mostly what they dealt in. Was stained glass and lamps. Like, it was stained glass lamp shades was the thing they really made their nut on. But yeah, so that's a point for you. And we'll go to question number 12. Which Tennessee alum has won WNBA MVP twice, 2 titles with the Sparks, and Finals MVP in 2016? She also provides commentary on NBA and NCAA games for TNT and NBA TV.
Okay, if I think through this anymore, I'll make myself wronger, so I'm going to say I'm in.
All right, Kenya?
I'm kicking myself for not studying up on WNBA.
I love the WNBA.
With just all of the spare time I have not. Hi. I I don't even know if I'm going to come up with a cromulent answer. I don't think I will, so I'll just say swoops.
Swoops and Jay.
The name Sue Storm popped into mind, and if I think through it anymore, I will go farther away, I think, in the timeline. So I'm going to say Sue Storm.
You think that she was in the Fantastic Four. You're thinking of Sue Bird of the Seattle Storm.
I am.
However, it's not the right answer, so you're okay. It's Candace Parker.
Oh, God. She is from Naperville, Illinois. I should have known that.
As is her brother, Anthony. Jeff, where does that leave us after 12 preliminary questions?
All right, so our scores remained really tight throughout. Unfortunately for Kenya, she just couldn't stay on the balance beam and fell into that punji pit. Really unexpected reveal at the end there, which makes today's champion Jay with a narrow victory of 3 correct over 2. So congratulations to Jay.
That I lost the least on this one. Let's put it that way, right, Kenya?
Congratulations.
It's called Bloodsport,
Humbling.
not Fun Sport.
Humbling.
I am disappointed that there were no board game questions.
Well, it's only
questions.
12 questions. That we have a great wide world out there of things that we need to quiz you all on. But thank you so much for both of you for joining us today. Unfortunately, Kenya, you just didn't quite make the cut. But in Bloodsport, it is life or death. So, all right, Kenya. Unfortunately, we have to bid you adieu. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing before we let you go?
Well, this was fun, even though the categories didn't really fall my way this time, and that's just the way it, the cookie crumbles. But I do wish Jay all the best. I hope that she goes very far in the Bloodsport tournament.
That was an awesome game. Thanks again to Ryan for all of his hard work on this season of Bloodsport. Just want to thank all of the competitors who came on. As you are aware, we do this as a competition just for our patrons, so huge shout out to all of them. Thank them so much for everything that they do for us here at the show. If you're interested in supporting us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, where you get early access to ad-free episodes. At certain levels, there's bonus content, and all of that gets unlocked for you. So if you have considered supporting us, we'd appreciate it if you would at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. All right, Ryan, go ahead and hit those showers. We'll see you for game 2 coming up next.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become?
Senwa Saga, Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
And continuing our trounce through the Midwest North region, we got 2 more excellent competitors for the second half of today's episode. I'd like to introduce first and foremost Brian Peterson-Delacueva, coming to us from St. Paul. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a data analyst here. Got a wife, 2 lovely kids most of the time, or they're lovely most of the time. I have them all the time. And just really looking forward to competing.
I was expecting it wasn't a Schrodinger's kids situation, so. But welcome to the show. Really nice to have you. And we also have returning for what I don't know is his numbered appearance. We have Eric Walling from Parts Unknown, Kansas City. There's a little contention in the room before we started today, so I'm not going to feel the fire.
Hello again. Good to see everyone. I think it's number 4. There's 3 away from an air conditioning unit, so I think this is the 4th time on.
Yeah. If you make your 10th appearance, I believe it's the Golden Dalmatian statue. So, but why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself for those who haven't heard you before?
Eric Walling. I am from the Missouri side, and me and Ryan can argue about whether or not that's the better side of Kansas City, and a member of the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And unlike my Benchwarmer brethren that played last year, I have not been drinking all morning, so I am ready to go.
Wow. We are coming out swinging, which is great because it, of course, is Bloodsport. So every competitor needs to be at the top of their game. And without a host, we can't really have a good game. So I'd like to hand it over to Ryan Myers. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be back again after years.
When we are happy to have you back. Ryan seemed a little bit flustered a moment ago as the competitors were ripping their shirts off, figuratively getting ready to go. And why don't we just get it started?
Question number 1. What last name carries a significance in horror movie history, as it is the last name of Marian's lover Sam in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, the beleaguered Dr. Samuel in the Halloween series, and Sidney's boyfriend Billy in Wes Craven's Scream?
Oh, yeah. This one may be slightly out. I'm gonna lock in with a Lucky Johnson.
Johnson. And Brian?
I dimly thought it was Marion Crane from Psycho, but had no insight for the other ones. So Crane is my guess.
Her name is Marion Crane, but the correct answer is Loomis. Loomis. We're going to go to question number 2. Let's talk language. When speaking proper Portuguese, an O at the end of a word makes which sound?
So I think it's like an ooh sound, like obrigado.
Ooh sound. And Eric?
I thought it was a sh sound, so I'm gonna say sh.
One of you will be getting points. It is an ooh sound. So Rio de Janeiro is very wrong. It's Rio de Janeiro, which makes Portuguese sound a lot less pretty, if you ask me. Moving on to question number 3. What specific creature, also the title of an Oscar-winning film, is an important symbol to the city of Perth, Australia? This species is monogamous and shares offspring rearing duties.
The best I can come up with is cuckoo.
Cuckoo. And Eric?
I will say a wombat.
The correct answer is a black swan. Question number 4. Which singer's first 3 number 1 hits on the U.S. country charts were 1982's Can't Even Get the Blues, 1983's You're the First Time I've Thought About Leavin', and 1984's How Blue? Her 3 most recent number 1s are 2010's Turn on the Radio, 2009's Consider Me Gone, and 2004's Somebody. Between How Blue and Somebody, the singer earned an additional 18 number 1 hits on the chart.
The names I'm coming up with are either too early or too recent. So I think I'll just have to pass on.
All right, and Walling?
Reba McEntire?
It's Reba. For 1 point. Well done. She's the queen. Let's go to number 5. Let's get scientific. The first electric battery that could continuously provide an electric current to a circuit was a, quote, pile, invented and named after which physicist?
The only physicist I was pulling was Faraday, which I know is more the cage, but Faraday is what I'll answer.
Faraday. And Eric?
I said Coulomb.
Coulomb. The correct answer is Ebenezer Duracell. No, it's actually Alessandro Volta. But
I was like, wow, really? I feel like I would have known
unfortunately. All right, let's go to question 6. What is the adjective appropriately used to describe any bread that uses a chemical agent like baking powder to leaven itself instead of a natural or biological agent like yeast or sourdough starter?
I knew I should have read more books on baking terminology before I came on here. I had focused mostly on figure skating. I will.
You know me.
I know. I will lock in.
All right, Brian?
Yeah, again, this is outside my wheelhouse, but maybe it's just the flatbreads. So.
And Walling?
I just said unleavened.
No, if they use baking powder, it happens a lot faster. These are called quick breads.
Oh.
And that's what makes Bloodsport Bloodsport. You can't just rely only on pop culture, only on academia to get you there. That takes us halfway through. So can we get a standings update, Jeff?
Absolutely can. And you thought our competitors were going to be coming out swinging. Turns out it was Ryan. Each of our competitors only got one correct in that first half. So it is a wide open match from here on out. So you guys are going to have to hunker down and, get to it.
It's like the scene in the movie where the nerds fight and they're just punching the air and not hitting each other.
That's what I get for saying Missouri was the better side, I guess.
That's exceptionally metaphorically resonant.
That's a beautiful phrase. Hey, question number 7. Occurring in the eastern United States from around 1890 to 1930, the Battle of Blair Mountain, the Matawan Massacre, the Paint Creek Cabin Creek, and Battle of Everts were a series of, quote, wars waged between detectives, the Army, and the National Guard, among others, versus people in which industry?
I think I was getting close to locking in, so I'm going to say whiskey making.
Whiskey making. And Brian?
I was going to go with mining.
I need you to be more specific.
I'd say specifically coal miners then.
Coal mining is correct, specifically, yes. Let's go to question number 8. Peter Wright of Scotland, Gerwyn Price of Wales, and Michael van Gerven of the Netherlands are the most recent PDC world champions. What does the D in PDC stand for in this case?
I'm going to guess that this is something like professional darts or something and say darts.
And Walling?
I said darts.
It is absolutely darts. Very well done. Let's go to number 9. In sewing, a stitch used to invisibly sew seams from the outside is named after what useful object? This object is also found in the lyrics to Stevie Wonder's Superstition.
So I'm guessing I'm just trying to play out the lyrics, and the only thing I can think of is close. I'm guessing it's not the 13-month-old baby stitch, but my guess is looking glass.
And Wally?
Yeah, I said wall.
It is something to be superstitious about. You don't walk under them. It's a ladder stitch. Let's go with question number 10. What is the term for a person whose job involves the cutting, installing, and removing of glass, such as for windows, doors, mirrors, or display cases?
I will say the very literal glass cutter.
Glass cutter. And Brian?
Do they have a guild too? I think it's glazier.
It is a glazier, like glazier with an I, so it's fancy in French. But it's a glazier.
Yeah, not any relation to Jay, though. Of course, Eric, right?
No, those guys are way less into MMA.
Question 11. With an upcoming 17th season, which Real Housewives series was the first in the ever-expanding franchise?
I will go with the one that I think is a thing in, say, Beverly Hills, because I could not name another one.
And Walling?
I said Orange County.
It's Orange County, right next door to Beverly Hills. That takes us to question number 12. Which crossover compact SUV has been produced by Hyundai since 2004 and takes its name from a city in the United States? It is the automaker's best-selling SUV model.
I feel like there's maybe 2 things that could sort of fit the question, which is why Ryan was saying it's cruel, and little who me shrug tells me that's perhaps the case. I think my guess is Santa Fe.
Santa Fe? And Walling?
Yeah, I also said Santa Fe.
It is the Hyundai Tucson.
Oh, yeah, I think if you're a real car nut like I am, the small crossover, the smaller of the two is the Tucson. I think that was the only real way, unless you knew the sales figures, but you'd have to be some kind of real weirdo like me to know that. Anyways, this is not about me. This is about our fine competitors. And we do have a winner after all of the scores have been tabulated here. So today, with a score of 4, Brian unfortunately defeated Eric. So, sorry, I had to throw you a little off there, Eric. Yeah, you only had 3 correct, but what a valiant effort. Who would have ever thought Macaulay Culkin from the sidelines would have thrown the paint can into the back of your head? But you never saw it coming, and you didn't have a chance. So, tragic defeat today.
Yeah, my ears were really ringing, and then right after Ryan dropped the tarantula on my chest and then hit me with the crowbar, there's no recovering, honestly.
Well, we'll be seeing.
We didn't say you couldn't hire outside help, and Brian hired Macaulay Culkin.
Well, we'll be seeing Brian in the next round. But before we let you go, Eric, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we bid you adieu?
Yeah, my luck with Ryan Meyer's tournament games has appeared to have run out. So, thank you very much, Ryan, for putting questions together. Brian, congratulations, and Triviality guys, it's good to see you again. Check out the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast if you really want to learn more about sports and merriment. Us and our umpteen members, including our new member Leva Ducks, if you listen to the most recent episode. So,
what an awesome set of games today. Thank you so much to our competitors, Kenya Zarns, Jay Borsom, Eric Walling, and Brian Peterson-Delacueva. So excited to kick off this tournament to see who's going to end up being the final 8 competitors that we have going into our Bloodsport tournament. Jay and Brian will be moving on to a subsequent episode to see who's going to be representing the Midwest North bracket, and very much looking forward to that as well. And before we go today, just want to thank our network, Airwave Media. You can check out some of their other awesome shows like Sleepy, Subtext, and Into the Impossible by clicking the link in the show notes below or going directly to airwavemedia.com. So that'll wrap up Game 1 this week. And thank you so much for listening. We're excited to see where the tournament takes us.